Today on an all-new Dr. Phil.
I can't see my grandchildren because I don't follow Kara's rules.
A mother who won't give in.
They're used to very strict routines.
Grandmothers spoil their grandchildren. Mom, get over yourself.
And a wife who won't put out.
You've done it twice in the last year. You have rules. 3 minutes for sexual activity.
The commercial's usually about 3 minutes, so we can go do it, then I can get back to my TV show.
Let's do it.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
I hate to see people suffering, and you've hurt long enough.
Stand by, Dr. Phil.
Wilson, take
I'm going to get you the help that you need.
In 5, 4.
This is going to be a changing day in your life. My guest, Pat, says her daughter-in-law, Kara, is a vindictive bitch who has brainwashed her son, Todd, against her and imposed stupid rules. Take a look.
Kara is a bitch, and I wish she had not married my son Todd. Kara controls everything. Kara will make life miserable for my son if Todd does not agree with everything that she says. Kara has a list of rules. I have to make an appointment to see Todd or my granddaughters. Kara packs Todd's lunch every day. Todd is hungry, and he has asked me on numerous occasions for money so that he can maybe get a Danish. If I need anything and I call and ask for it, Todd does have to get it approved by Kara. Several years ago, I had the flu. I called and asked Todd if he would run to the store. Kara said to Todd, "She's not infirmed, is she?" He didn't come over. I cried my heart out. He's my only son and my only family in town. Who else could I call? I wish that Todd sometimes would have the to stand up to Kara.
But Kara and Todd say Pat needs rules to follow because she has no clue what the word boundary means.
I absolutely feel that I should take precedence over my mother-in-law. Pat involves herself in our marriage and our lives way too much. When our first daughter was born, Pat was very upset that she was not allowed to stay in the room when I was having the epidural put in, and she actually argued with the doctor. She was horrified and acted like we had just shot her dog. Really.
My mom has no respect for boundaries.
Pat has a very unhealthy attachment to Todd. Pat does treat Todd as a husband figure. She depends on him very much emotionally.
My mom goes for the jugular anytime we fight about Kara. She thinks Kara's a bitch. She's been very rude to my wife.
Pat has said that I've brainwashed her son.
I'm sick and tired of being in the middle of my mom and Kara. I want it to stop.
You had some pretty strong language for your daughter-in-law. You say that she is straight up a bitch.
Well, I was asked for my honest opinion, and,
Yeah, no, I understand.
and I gave it.
How you getting along with your son?
I'm not.
So that's not working either.
No.
Is it because, as they say, you don't respect or understand boundaries, or is it because they're just being unkind and ridiculous?
I respect boundaries. They go overboard on things.
Okay. Does she still mother you?
Absolutely. I lived with my mom for probably longer than I should have.
So you were living with your mother
I was, yes.
in the basement
Yes.
till you were how old?
About 30. Admittedly, I was there longer than I should have been.
Well, you said you think she underfeeds him.
We've had discussions, Todd and I have discussions about that.
He's diabetic.
I'll admit there's some days where, yeah, I'm still a little hungry. I mean, I know I've got such a svelte figure, but but I like to think I'm a normal guy, and sometimes I just want a little extra. That's all. I'm not.
So do you call your mom?
No, I don't call. The way my mom would have it made is like I'm calling her on a daily basis, sending an SOS.
But you have called her
I have called her, yes.
and said, I'm hungry?
When we're having a normal
That's
conversation.
not an essay question.
No, yes, I have.
Yes, you have.
Yes.
And so what would you do?
Give him a couple of bucks, $5.
To go get a snack? Yeah. Do you know that happens?
No, I didn't know that until now.
Yeah. Do you know that sometimes if he's frustrated with you, that he calls her and talks to her about you?
Yes. We went to marriage counseling about it.
And we've
actually.
since stopped.
And I hope they told you not to do that.
They did.
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
Because, see, parents, then all they hear are the negatives.
Right.
They're not there when you make up, because that'd really be creepy. But if you call and dog on your wife to your mother, then she hears all of that.
Right.
And so she gets a negative opinion of you, which is not fair to her. And then you're offended. And it all started with him.
Yeah.
Not her, but him. And it's kind of hard to unring that bell. I mean, this is her only child. I mean, he's lived with her till she's 30. This has been her significant other. All of a sudden, you're the other woman. And then he's complaining to her about you. And then y'all don't get along, and we wonder why.
Yeah.
I should have my own show. Well, Kara has rules, and this is according to you. Todd's not allowed to visit Pat without Kara's permission. Is that true?
He's not allowed to go over there without checking in first and saying, hey, are you and the kids okay?
So that's a yes.
Sure, yeah.
Pat's not allowed to buy Todd any gifts unless Christmas or birthday.
$300 glasses for no good reason.
Pat not allowed to make doctor's appointments for Todd.
Yeah, I think that's outrageous.
You make his doctor's appointments?
Not anymore. But
you did?
Yes, I did.
Todd not allowed to call Pat and ask for help or advice when sick, etc. Don't turn to mom. Right? Okay, no spending Christmas or Thanksgiving at Pat's house.
That's not 100% true.
I have invited her to come along with us, and if she'd like us to come to her house and have dinner, that's fine. We can go on an adjoining day that weekend whenever she'd like. I'm not asking her not to see us.
But not on Christmas or not on Thanksgiving Day.
But you can come with us.
Number 6, Todd's not allowed to run errands or do things for Pat unless approved by Kara.
Again, it has to do with the fact that I'm home with the kids, and he just needs to call home first.
Pat not allowed to buy groceries or toiletries for Todd, including Slim Jims and flavored water.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Pat not allowed to show up unannounced at Kara and Todd's, has to make an appointment.
Yeah, can't just show up.
Todd not allowed to give children's social security numbers to Pat.
That was a decision we made together.
Kara says Pat being part of her grandchildren's lives is a privilege that will be revoked if she continues to break her and Todd's parenting rules. Find out why Pat says these rules are meant to be broken after the break.
I can't see my grandchildren because I don't follow Kara's rules.
Pat believes that she should have her own set of rules when it comes to the children.
Rules are meant to be broken.
And later,
Lindsay says that sex is gross.
Sex is like a burden. Charles asked me over and over, Lindsay, you think tonight we can? And I'll sometimes say yes, and then I'll pray to God he falls asleep on the couch.
Tomorrow on an all-new Dr. Phil.
My daughter is a moocher.
Allie's room, she just can't see the mess.
she can't see the mess. How many fingers am I holding up?
6, 3, 6.
She saw that, okay.
Just when you think
How many car wrecks have you had?
it can't get worse,
I want to have a kid.
How would you find the child in your room?
it gets worse.
Do you have a boyfriend living with you?
Yes.
So you're adding moochers.
That's tomorrow.
Pat believes that she should have her own set of rules when it comes to the children.
Rules are meant to be broken. Rule number 1, they can't get up before 8:15. I don't think that's realistic at all. Rule number 2, nap time around 1:30. I try to get my older granddaughter to take a nap, but I don't force her to lay down if she doesn't want to. Rule number 3, their bedtime is 7:30.
A couple of weeks ago, we had a pretty bad argument. They had fallen asleep in the car, so we had to wake them up. They were very grumpy.
Kara and Todd got furious and told me I couldn't see them anymore. The last thing that Kara said to me was, "Get out of my damn house."
We haven't seen her since then.
If my mom doesn't follow my rules, I'm not going to feel comfortable with her watching my kids.
I can't see my grandchildren because I don't follow Kara's rules.
Well, do you feel about all of this?
I love my grandchildren. My son and my daughter-in-law, when they saw them in the back of the car sleeping, got furious. Oh, great, they're both asleep. And they came and each one got one of them and took them in the house. And I said, how do you keep two little girls from falling asleep in a car?
They're used to very, very strict routines with sleep, and I just said that it affects them because they're going to be tired at 5 o'clock, and I know that's not your problem. I was upset about it.
So why have you not seen each other for 5 weeks, and why has she not seen the children?
She didn't exactly pick up the phone either, just to set the record straight.
I was not going to give them the opportunity to tell me I couldn't see them because I know they wouldn't let me see them.
So this has hurt your feelings?
Yes, yes, a lot.
Does anybody want to know what I think about all this?
Yes.
Please.
Yeah, please.
First off, you have a relationship with your mother that you certainly were happy with and trusting and bonded with for 30 years living in her house. Then you decide it's time to move on, which is fine. So here she is. She's been moved on from. So it's interesting to see how you handle that. Are you gracious about it? Are you generous about it? Or have you moved on and so now you have rules? You have this or you have that. So I kind of look at that, and I think a big part of this problem between these two is because of you.
I would agree with that, too.
Because of you. And I look at your situation. You have the kids, which she obviously loves and adores.
Yes.
Grandmothers are put on this earth to spoil their grandchildren. And
we're not arguing that.
That doesn't mean that there aren't rules that need to be respected. I get that. But Mom, get over yourself. I mean, come on. I'm a grandparent, so I probably should recuse myself. If there are medical needs for these children that need to be respected, you need to respect them 100 out of 100 times. Other than that, are we more negotiable?
Yeah.
What is it I'm saying that is so offensive to your sensibilities? Think about that, because I bet you have a long list. You can tell me after the break. So she buys him a pair of $300 glasses. So what?
He needs to know how to work for the things that he wants.
You're not his mother.
This May on Dr. Phil. It's a month of controversial guests.
Are you on medication?
Minimal.
Because you're slurring your words. She threw a temper tantrum in the hotel room talking to my staff.
Am I gonna get my word to talk? I came here. This is my story. This is just not what I came on this show for.
Shocking accusations.
How do you feel about being here with Chris?
I'm terrified.
I am guilty of being a bad dad, but I am not a pedophile.
You know what you did to me. Stop lying.
Dr. Phil exclusives.
Miranda Barber says she has murdered dozens of people.
The suspect's family speaks out.
She says she hacked a man to death in the front seat of her car. What has she said to you about that night?
Plus, police say her ex starved their 5-year-old son.
He weighed 29 pounds.
And kept him locked beneath the stairs.
His face was black and purple.
The exclusive stories.
What did he tell you about the closet?
This May on Dr. Phil.
Now, before the break, you were giving me this, I wish you would shut up and die look. What is it that I'm saying that's offensive to your sensibility?
Just want to be allowed to have my family. I just want her to be a grandmother and not a mother to my kids, and to respect that he is a man
May I add on to
and
that?
not a little boy.
May I add on to that? I completely, like I said, I take responsibility that I definitely lived with my mom a lot longer than I should have, and that I have contributed to this issue. I recognize that. And on I agree with her 100%. I think, have I become my own man a little bit late in life? Yes, absolutely. I love my mom. I do. I love her. But the way things have gone lately, things have to change.
Well, then negotiate change. So she buys him a pair of $300 glasses. So what? So what do you care what she does with her money?
He needs to know how to work for the things that he wants.
You're not his mother. No, seriously, you don't want to get in a parent-child relationship with him. You need to man up and manage your relationship with your mother.
That's what I'm trying to do.
You need to respect your wife. You need to respect your wife, and you need to have undivided loyalty to your wife. But you draw from separate accounts. You have a mother love account, and you have a wife love account. Those don't intersect. And the greatest gift you can give him is to foster an ongoing healthy relationship with his mother. The greatest gift you can give your children is to foster loving extended family relationships on both sides, your family and his family. That's the greatest gift you can be. Be someone that just is all-inclusive, loves everybody, and if there are things that you feel like she's crossing the line on, you know, drop her a note about it. Say something about it, but it doesn't have to be World War III. And you need to recognize she is the other woman. He is 30. He doesn't need you to bring him snacks. He doesn't need you to make his doctor's appointments. You need to respect some boundaries. But this has a lot, I'm telling you, this is 90% you and 5% each of them. She's not a bitch. Get the chip off your shoulders. This is not the Wicked Witch here. She's just trying to find a place where everybody gets to do what they need to do, right? Yeah. And understand, grandparents don't have all the rules parents have. Next, a husband with a very simple question. How can he get more sex? His wife says her libido is non-existent and she'd be happy if she never had to do it again. Can this couple's sex life be spiced up, or will it be bland forever? We're going to find out when we come back.
Charles asked me over and over, Lindsay, you think tonight we can, and I'll sometimes say yes, and then I'll pray to God he falls asleep on the couch.
Lindsay says that sex is gross.
Hey, Dr. Phil here. Did you know that more than 16 million kids in the U.S. are at risk of hunger each day? That's more than 1 in 5 children. Now, these are our neighbors, our kids that play in the neighborhood, co-workers, friends' children. The problem is closer than you would think, but so is the solution. Join me and visit feedingamerica.org/hunger to find your local food bank to help. I'm Dr. Phil, and together, we are Feeding America. Lindsay says she loves her husband, Charles, but they have 2 big problems: sex and numbers. Charles could have sex 10 times a day. Lindsay prefers 0. And when they do have it, which is once or twice a year, she has what she calls a 3-minute rule. Take a look.
When I was pregnant with my daughter about 5 years ago, my sex drive went completely downhill. Charles's cravings for sex never stopped.
When my wife was pregnant the first time, I did stray away from my marriage. I said, I can't be with someone who can't give me love and affection. And she said, I'm sorry. that I can't give you that.
Since my son has been born, we have been sleeping in separate beds. Charles asked me over and over, Lindsay, you think tonight we can? And I'll sometimes say yes, and then I'll pray to God he falls asleep on the couch.
Lindsay says that sex is gross.
Sex is like a burden because I only do it for Charles. It's not for me. It's just to make Charles happy. I would rather take care of my husband very quickly rather than have to take off my clothes and do it. When Charles and I are having sex, sometimes I will lay there and I will count to 100 because I'm thinking, okay, he'll probably be done by the time I get to 90, 95.
It feels like my manhood and my self-esteem has been stripped away from me. It's almost like I'm on a mission.
I have gained some weight since I had my second child. I don't want him seeing me without clothes on, period.
I've tried several things, buying her flowers, cooking her dinner, but I just don't know the answer to making her sex drive better.
I want to have sex, and I want to be happy and to make Charles happy, but I can't. It is not in me.
Okay, now I assume you guys are here because you want to fix this.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
I want to fix it, definitely.
You're saying you don't want to have sex, right?
No, I do not.
But you want to.
I want to.
Okay, and see,
yes.
that's important. She wants to want to. She just doesn't want to.
Exactly.
Okay. You have rules for this, right? He must shower.
Oh, yeah.
He can't drink beer.
No.
No. The baby must be asleep.
Yes.
3 minutes for sexual activity. How'd you come to 3?
And the commercials are usually about 3 minutes, so we can go do it, and then I can get back to my TV show.
So you've got to get in there, do it, and get back in 3 minutes.
Right.
It's tough on a man, 3 minutes. I mean, that's tough.
Yeah. You've actually taken to bribing her. You've tried scheduling date nights.
Yes,
Good
sir.
idea. Compliments.
Yes, sir.
You purchased her new clothes, bathing suits,
Yes, sir.
flowers and candles. You prepared gourmet meals, steak dinners.
I've even cut her steak for her, hoping that.
Cut her steak for her. You've poured wine, made tea, candles. You've tried porn, sex toys.
No, sir, we've never tried that.
I will not
she
try
will
that.
not
He
allow
knows that.
Well, you think it's funny, right?
I think because it's so fake. I mean, what do you get on there? There's music, and it's like, oh yeah. I mean, that's just not. It's not real. It's so fake. I mean, I don't know. That just doesn't do anything for me.
Yeah, so that's not your cup of tea.
No, it's not.
Why do you think you're in this boat?
I'm not really sure how I'm in this boat. I just want the boat to float a little better.
But you've done it twice this year.
Since Christmas, I'd say yes. We've probably done it twice.
Like last night, I was promised, last night that, hey, we've never been to Los Angeles. Y'all can tell by our southern accents, we're a long ways away from home. And
yes,
this is going to happen. I'm ready. We're laid in a bed. She goes, I'm really tired. I was like, uh-oh.
He got up. He's like, we'll just wait till tomorrow. I'm like, no. Well, just come on. Let's go. Come on. Take them off. Let's go. Come on.
Take them off?
Take them off. Get it off. And I went ahead and got off. So let's do it. And then we did. And I think I was asleep afterwards within like 20 seconds. I was really tired. I only slept 2 hours the night before. So I was sleepy.
Yeah. So I asked him what he thought was the problem. What do you think?
I mean, truthfully, I feel like there even could be something wrong with me medically. I have no idea. Like, it's like I can't make myself do it.
Do you remember when it changed?
It was after I had my daughter. I just, I get so wrapped up in our children, and I just, you do all these things all day with the children. The last thing I think about is sex. That's the last thing I think about. I think about when my head's going to hit the pillow.
So you stopped being a wife when you started being a mother?
I guess, yes.
Listen, I decided it was important to find out what was really going on behind closed doors. So I sent some reinforcements to find out why Charles sleeps in a pink bedroom. I'm serious. He sleeps in a pink bedroom. I'll show you that when we come back.
This is Charles' very, very pink bedroom. Charles sleeps here.
Yes.
How do you think he feels about sleeping in all this pinkness?
I don't think it bothers him, to be honest with you. I think he gets his own bedroom, his own TV, his own fish.
And later, please welcome my really good friend, Ronnie Dunn.
Tomorrow on an all-new Dr. Phil.
My daughter is a moocher.
Valley's room, she just can't see the mess.
She can't see the mess? How many fingers am I holding up?
6, 3, 6.
She saw that, okay.
Just when you think
How many car wrecks have you had?
it can't get worse,
I want to have a kid.
How would you find the child in your room?
it gets worse.
Do you have a boyfriend living with you?
Yes.
So you're adding moochers.
That's tomorrow.
If Charles and I do anything at all, I prefer for it to be within 3 minutes because I can count that time and I watch the clock and usually my show's back on.
I have been told that ladies were in their sexual prime when they're in their 30s, but I've been waiting on her sexual prime now for a while, and it's just not happening.
Well, I'm here with Charles and Lindsay. Now, Charles would be happy if he could just have sex like twice a week. But actually, it's more like twice a year. But you did have some interaction last night, right? And let's be honest, how was it?
I was terrible. I was awful. I know. I could answer for him.
How were you awful?
Because he knew I didn't want to do it. And so I'm just laying there 1, 2, 3, 4, over and over and over.
You know, this is, it's hard for a man to have a limit time. You know, I would take 12 minutes would be perfect.
I decided to call in a sexpert, certified clinical sexologist, Alessandra Rampolla. Has a BA from Loyola University, a master's in marriage and family therapy. She is also host of the show on Fox Life called I Want a Change. Now, Alessandra went behind closed doors with this couple, not like closed doors, to find out what was going on between the sheets. Take a look.
Hi, Dr. Phil. This is Alessandra. I have been reading up on Charles and Lindsay, and I cannot wait to meet them. I am absolutely sure that once I talk to them, I'm going to get all sorts of information out of them. Hello.
Hey.
Let's get this going, huh?
Come on in.
Let's do it. I want to see where the magic is not happening.
Here's the room.
It's nice and large. Who sleeps in this beautiful big bed?
Me and my children.
What happened to Charles? You would think master bedroom, you would have a spot here.
He sleeps upstairs in my daughter's room.
So this is Charles' very, very pink bedroom.
Very pink bedroom.
Very pink, but Charles sleeps here.
Yes.
How do you think he feels about sleeping in all this pinkness?
I don't think it bothers him, to be honest with you. I think he gets his own bedroom, his own TV, his own fish.
Why don't we go back down to your room?
Okay.
All right.
You know what?
When are you Lindsay the woman?
I'm mom all the time. There's no time I don't feel like I'm just me. He's on the couch, I'm on the chair. I want to watch a show, and that's that. I could go the rest of my life without it. I'm completely content with snuggling and watching movies, holding hands, whatever. But I know that's not normal.
If you could think this is the perfect relationship that Charles and I can have, how would you draw that up?
I think Charles and I are completely perfect now. Like, we are happy. We just have that one area. Yeah, well, it's actually probably a big detail.
So tell me a little about the relationship with Lindsay when things were really good. I would imagine in the beginning the intimacy was all there.
I knew there was a little bit of problem then.
Even in the beginning?
Even in the beginning.
Tell me about the affair.
I just felt like I was neglected. I didn't feel loved. It was a mistake.
Are you two in love?
Very much.
You feel in love?
Mm-hmm.
I know I'm in love, for a fact.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, you know.
I love everything about him.
This couple, they get to go see you, Dr. Phil. I have all good wishes for them, and I do think it's very manageable, and they can learn to make this work.
Okay, now I asked Alessandra to get involved here because this is her specialty. She does nothing but this. This is what she focuses on day in and day out. Now, what jumps out at you when you make this house call and you meet with these guys?
The first thing that jumped out at me was the total disconnect that I felt from Lindsay with her own sexuality. Your libido is never going to be jump-started until you start thinking. It starts in your brain and then it goes down to your body. but you're not even having sexual thoughts. You talked about earlier that you don't like pornography, and a lot of women feel that way, but erotic literature would be really, really good for you.
Like
Yes.
50 Shades of
50
Grey.
Shades.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd try that. Yeah.
You made a bad choice a number of years ago, and you actually got involved with someone else. You say out of desperation, you kind of blame yourself for it,
Well,
that he strayed.
yeah. Well, I guess we're to the point, it's like I understand. And we are so far past that, but I know I was not, being who I should have been as a wife to him.
I felt it may not be completely processed somehow. There's something about the rules and the excuses and justifications that almost seems like there's a punishment behind the controlling of the sex.
All right, we got to take a break. We're going to find out if there is any chance of reigniting this sexual spark when we come back.
This May on Dr. Phil. It's a month of controversial guests.
Are you on medication?
Minimal.
Because you're slurring your words. She threw a temper tantrum in the hotel room talking to my staff.
Am I gonna get my word to talk? I came here. This is my story. This is just not what I came on this show for.
Shocking accusations.
How do you feel about being here with Chris?
I'm terrified.
I am guilty of being a bad dad, but I am not a pedophile.
You know what you did to me. Stop lying.
Dr. Phil exclusives.
Miranda Barber says she has murdered dozens of people.
The suspect's family speaks out.
She says she hacked a man to death in the front seat of her car. What has she said to you about that night?
Plus, police say her ex starved their 5-year-old son
He weighed 29 pounds.
and kept him locked beneath the stairs.
His face was black and purple.
The exclusive stories.
What did he tell you about the closet?
This May on Dr. Phil.
We can't do this show without you, our studio audience.
If you're going to be in the Los Angeles area and you would like free tickets, go to drphil.com and click on Be in the Audience.
Because we have a lot of fun here, don't we? Or you can call 323-461-7445.
What do you admire about him? What do you think is just so special and fabulous about this man next to you?
He's very hot.
Thank
He's
you.
got a great personality. He's a great person to be around.
You think he's hot, but you don't want to jump his bones.
Exactly.
After everything we've talked about, what do you think is the number one thing you need to do?
Give it to him. I
Well-
mean, I don't know.
All right, I said I wanted it simple. That's simple. But, I mean, do you think you need a better attitude about it?
Oh, definitely, yes. Definitely.
And that's important, right?
That's very important. You guys need to start touching more. I notice even at home, you don't necessarily hold hands all the time or touch, and I think it's good to just get used to touching, regular touching, non-sexual touching.
So to help you get reconnected, how about a change of scenery? I mean, that's good. So what we did is we contacted our friends at Sandals Resort, and when they heard your story, they insisted on giving you the honeymoon that you never had. Okay? Now, they have 14 different resorts like Jamaica and Antigua and San Lucia, the Bahamas, Grenada, all over the place, and you can just pick one. Anyone you want to go to, we're going to send you there. No kids. Your stay includes luxurious accommodations, unlimited gourmet dining, the best land and water sports, anything and everything you want to do. Just a break for you guys. They call it their luxury included honeymoon. Okay? All right? Now, while you're there, you're going to need some spending money. So I want to give you a Chime card. And you see this has your name on it. And I was able to extract this last night because my son Jay is into banking. This is one of their cards. And this is a very cool, rewarding alternative to a typical debit card, by the way. It's Visa, so you can use it anywhere that Visa is accepted. And there is actually, the reason I rolled this out, there's a Chime mobile app that you can use, because when you have this card, it's connected to deals everywhere you go. So clothing stores, restaurants, whatever, you give them the Chime card, and they give you automatically credited discounts on everything you buy. So basically, this is like Groupon without the coupon. All right? It's the only card that gives you money. Now, this chime card for you guys is loaded with $5,000. Okay? So, well, we want you to run and play and not worry about, don't go pay the light bill with it. You can buy lingerie with this. You can do whatever. And if you at home want a chime card loaded with deals, just go to chimecard.com to sign up. And you can see and hear that when you launch the app, it will show all of the deals that are close to you. For example, there's a deal for $10 at Best Buy or Old Navy. So if you go to either of those stores and pay with your chime card, you save that amount. So it's really more than $5,000 because you'll get a discount on everything that you spend it on. So enjoy your honeymoon and the $5,000 chime card. All right? All right. Now, Chime hasn't forgotten about you in the audience. Everybody in today's audience will receive your own chime card with $25 preloaded on it. Okay? And then any of you at home want your own chime card that I'm proud to say my son Jay has created, go to chimecard.com to sign up. Next, one of country's biggest superstars drops by, and you're going to find out the life-threatening habit he wishes he had never given up.
This May on Dr. Phil. Dr. Phil was the first to interview House of Horrors survivor Michelle Knight. Now,
she will appear here in front of a live studio audience.
New revelations.
After 8 months, you saw yourself in the mirror. What did you see?
I didn't see me.
Her new life.
I don't feel like I'm trapped in a cage anymore.
Plus,
inside the secret journals Michelle kept as she lay chained to a bed.
Coming this May on Dr. Phil.
Every situation needs a hero. Step up and be that for your child. If you're having trouble with a son or daughter and feel like you're running out of options, visit drphil.com to get 11 seasons of parenting advice. You can access articles, video, and action plans to help you be the best parent you can be. You know, one of the real benefits of having your own television show is you get to meet over the years really interesting people. And one of the most interesting I've met and has become a great friend of mine is here today. My next guest spent 20 years as half of one of the most successful duos in country music history, Brooks and Dunn. All right? Yeah. How about that? But now, after stepping out on his own and following a very successful debut solo album that included 2 Grammy nominations, he's just released his second solo album, Peace, Love, and Country Music. Please welcome my really good friend, Ronnie Dunn. All right. Have a seat. So, now, Robin will want me to ask you this. What do you do? What do you mean you took a year off?
Well, I just kind of just stopped. You know, we toured for 18 years straight.
God. Nonstop?
Nonstop. And didn't take a break. And we were ready and geared up again to do, 70, 80 dates last year. I said, I'm not sure I can take it. I just want to take some time off. Janice said, well, okay, take time off, but go to Mexico.
Yeah, get out of here. Yeah, right.
So we did.
Are you glad you did?
Yeah, I think it's good for the creative process, not to get too heady, and just go air out and kind of come back with maybe hopefully a fresher perspective on things.
So you're going to sing a song for us today. This song, so everybody knows, is a metaphor.
I had to Google that.
Yeah.
You told me that backstage, so I Googled it real quick.
Yes, it is. It's like an analogy, because the title of the song is I Wish I Still Smoked Cigarettes. Want to do it?
Yeah, thank you.
All right, let's do it.
Thanks for that. Thank you. All right. Thank you.
Wish I still smoked cigarettes, light one up in travel time, and a stiff drink and a whispered yes. It's enough to light a fire and feel alive. Wish I could go back to those nights sometime. I wish I still drove a muscle car, or horses rumbling under the hood, flying past the welcome sign under the stars, wishing I could leave for good, and I swore I would. Every now and then I'll go back to that neighborhood. I wish I still did a lot of things I don't do anymore. When I didn't know what wasn't good for me, but I do everything else for sure. I guess what I really miss is the freedom then, the way it felt, the innocence. That's what I really miss when I say I wish I still smoked cigarettes, felt more grown up then. We were talking about where we were gonna go, instead of talking about where we'd been. We'd ride around the lake and make those plans. Still had the world in the palm of our hands. We never had a chance. I wish I still did a lot of things I don't do anymore. When I didn't know what wasn't good for me, but I knew everything else for sure. I guess what I really miss is the freedom then, the way it felt, the innocence. That's what I really miss when I say I wish I still smoked cigarettes. Wish I still smoked cigarettes, felt more grown up then. Wherever you are tonight, you were better than I deserved. I wish I still smoked cigarettes, so I had something to let go up in smoke.
Done it again. I just can't believe it. How great was that? All right, Ronnie's new solo album, Peace, Love, and Country Music, is available now at all Country Outfitter locations and everywhere digital music is sold. And everyone in the audience is going home with a copy. Thank you so much, Ronnie. All right, I want to thank all of my guests, and a very special thanks to Alessandra Rampolla and Sandals Resort. Thanks for being here. So long. See you guys.